The Italian soul of Argentine food. There is a country where Italian food is not really foreign food, where pizza is not exotic, pasta is not fancy, gnocchi have their own day every month, and Sunday lunch can feel almost sacred. That country is not Italy. It is Argentina. After my last video about Argentina and Italy at the World Cup, something beautiful happened. Many of you, especially from Argentina, wrote comments saying, "You have to talk about our food." And you were right. Because if football shows the emotional connection between Italy and Argentina, food shows the family connection, the kitchen connection, the grandmother connection. In many parts of the world, Italian food became a restaurant cuisine. In the United States, it became spaghetti and meatballs, Sunday sauce, New York pizza. Italian-American comfort food. In Australia, it entered cafes, bakeries, pasta shops, family kitchens, and post-war immigrant neighborhoods. In Brazil, Uruguay, Canada, Venezuela, and many other places, Italian food became part of the diaspora story. But Argentina is different. Because in Argentina, Italian food did not remain only ethnic food. It became everyday food, family food, national food, memory food. Pizza, pasta, Faina, Milanesa, Ñoquis, Ravioles, Tuco. These are not just dishes. They are stories of migration, stories of poverty, stories of abundance, stories of families who crossed the ocean and tried to keep a piece of Italy alive on the table. Argentina does not copy Italian food. Argentina remembers it differently. And that is why Argentine food has such a deep Italian soul. The migration of taste. To understand Argentine food, you have to understand the journey. Between the late 19th and early 20th centuries, millions of Italians left Italy. They left villages, farms, ports, and cities. They left from Genoa, Naples, Sicily, Calabria, Piedmont, Liguria, Abruzzo, the Marche, Veneto. They crossed the Atlantic Ocean, searching for work, dignity, and a future. Many went to the United States. Many went to Brazil. Some went to Australia. But millions went to Argentina. And they did not arrive with much. Some came with almost nothing. A suitcase, a few clothes, maybe a family photo, maybe a dialect, maybe a recipe remembered by heart. But food travels in strange ways. You can lose a house. You can lose money. You can lose your language after a few generations. But you do not easily lose the smell of sauce on Sunday. You do not easily lose the memory of pasta being made by hand. You do not easily lose the habit of gathering around a table and making food the center of the family. Italian immigrants brought recipes to Argentina, but they also brought hunger, nostalgia, poverty, pride, and the need to turn cheap ingredients into comfort. That is how Italian food began to change in Argentina. It was not simply copied. It was adapted. It was enlarged. It was made richer, more abundant, more Argentine. In Italy, Many immigrants had left behind a world where meat could be rare, cheese could be precious, and food had to be stretched. In Argentina, they found a country of open land, cattle, wheat, and abundance. Suddenly, the old recipes entered a new world. The Italian table met the Argentine appetite. And something unique was born. Not Italian food exactly, not Spanish food, not only Criollo food, but Argentine food with Italian memory inside it.
Pizza de Molde. Buenos Aires rewrites Naples. Let's start with pizza. If you come from Naples and you see Argentine pizza for the first time, you may be shocked. It is not thin. It is not light. It is not minimal. It is tall, thick, soft, loaded with cheese. Sometimes so much cheese that it almost becomes the main character. This is Pizza de Molde, the pizza of Buenos Aires. And it tells you everything about Argentina. Because Argentine pizza is not trying to be Neapolitan pizza. And that is exactly why it matters. Naples gave Argentina the idea. Buenos Aires gave it a new body. In Italy, pizza can be about balance. Dough, tomato, mozzarella, basil, fire, simplicity. In Argentina, pizza became something else. A slice of abundance. A working-class meal. A city ritual. A cheesy monument to immigration. It is the kind of pizza you eat standing up at a counter. Or with friends late at night. Or with family on a weekend. It does not whisper. It speaks loudly. It says, "We took your pizza, Italy, and we made it ours." And this is what makes Argentine food so interesting. It is not fake Italian food. It is not wrong Italian food. It is what happened when Italian immigrants arrived in a new country, and their children started cooking with Argentine confidence. The result is not Naples. The result is Buenos Aires. And Buenos Aires pizza has its own dignity, its own style, its own memory, its own soul. Faina, the Ligurian ghost on Argentine pizza. Now comes one of the most beautiful Italian-Argentine details. Faina. In Italy, especially in Liguria, there is farinata, a thin, savory chickpea pancake made with chickpea flour, water, olive oil, and salt. Simple, poor, ancient. In Argentina, this Ligurian idea crossed the ocean and became Faina. But Buenos Aires did something unexpected with it. It put it next to pizza, and sometimes on top of pizza. Pizza a caballo, pizza on horseback. A slice of pizza with Faina riding above it. That image is almost perfect. Because it is not pure Italy. It is not pure Argentina. It is migration on a plate. A Ligurian chickpea tradition placed over a Buenos Aires pizza slice. Two Italian memories meeting in a South American city. This is the genius of Argentine food. It does not preserve Italy in a museum. It remixes Italy in real life. The same thing happens with language. Words travel. Dialects survive. Sometimes an Argentine word carries an old Italian sound that many Italians today may not even recognize immediately. Food keeps these echoes alive. A dish can remember what a family forgot to write down. A word can survive inside a recipe. A gesture can survive at the table. Faina is not just a side dish. It is a small, edible archive of migration. A reminder that Argentina did not just receive Italian food. It absorbed it, transformed it, and made it local. Milanesa alla Napolitana, the perfect paradox. Now let's talk about one of the greatest food paradoxes in Argentina. Milanesa alla Napolitana. Just listen to the name. Milanesa, Napolitana, Milan, Naples. 2 Italian references in one dish. So, it must be Italian, right? Not exactly. Milanesa alla Napolitana is one of the most Argentine dishes you can imagine. A breaded cutlet, covered with tomato sauce, ham, melted cheese, sometimes oregano, then baked until it becomes rich, heavy, comforting, and impossible to ignore. It sounds Italian. It looks Italian-American to some people. It feels Argentine. And that is why it is so perfect. The Milanese cutlet has European roots. The tomato and cheese on top create a pizza-like memory. But the full dish, as Argentina knows it, belongs to Argentina. It is not authentic Italian food. It is authentic Argentine memory of Italy. That sentence matters because diaspora food often makes people argue. Someone says, "That is not real Italian food." Someone else says, "But my grandmother made it." And both can be true. Maybe it is not traditional food from Italy, but it can still be real food from an Italian family abroad. That is the difference. In the United States, Italian-American food created its own dishes. Spaghetti and meatballs, chicken parm, New York pizza, Sunday sauce. In Australia, Italian migrants changed cafe culture, bakeries, pasta shops, and home cooking. In Argentina, Italian food became so deeply absorbed that dishes like Milanesa alla Napolitana feel national. Not foreign, not imported, national. And that is the power of food. It stops asking for permission. It becomes home. Ñoquis del 29th, a monthly ritual. But if there is one tradition that shows the Italian soul of Argentina, it may be this. Ñoquis del 29. Gnocchi on the 29th day of every month. In many Argentine homes, the 29th means gnocchi. And sometimes, people place money under the plate as a wish for prosperity. It is simple. It is humble. It is symbolic. And it is beautiful. The story is often connected to the end of the month. Money was running out. Families needed cheap food. Gnocchi could be made with simple ingredients: potatoes, flour, water, a little skill, a lot of care. A dish born from necessity became a ritual of hope. In Italy, many people know gnocchi, of course.
But not everyone still lives this tradition every month.
In Argentina, it became a national habit, a calendar event,
a family superstition, a small monthly ceremony. And that tells us something important. Sometimes the diaspora preserves a tradition more emotionally than the homeland does. Not because Argentina is more Italian than Italy, but because when people leave, memory becomes precious.
It is the hope that next month will be better. This is why the dish becomes more than food. It becomes proof that something survived. A plate of gnocchis is not just a plate of pasta. It is the end of the month. It is family. It is luck. It is survival. Argentine Italian food feels so powerful because it is not only about taste, it is about memory. Sunday pasta and the Argentine Nonna. Maybe the most Italian thing in Argentina is not one specific recipe. Maybe it is Sunday lunch. The long table. The noise. The family arriving late. Someone arguing. Someone laughing. Someone bringing wine. Someone saying they are not hungry and then eating everything. Ravioles. Tallarines. Ñoquis. Lasagna. Tuco. Cheese. Bread. Meat. Sauce that took hours. A grandmother who does not measure anything. A grandfather who tells the same story every time. Children running around. Adults talking over each other. This is not just a meal. It is a social system. In Argentina, the Italian Sunday table became part of the national emotional language. Even people without an Italian surname can recognize it. Because Italian food stopped being immigrant food. It became grandmother food. That is the key. Grandmother food. In Italian, Nonna. In Spanish, abuela. In Argentina, sometimes abuela Tana. The Italian grandmother figure became part of the Argentine family imagination. She is not just cooking. She is keeping the family together. She is preserving a memory that maybe no one can fully explain anymore. Why do we eat this? Why do we make sauce this way? Why do we gather on Sunday? Why does the table matter so much? Because somewhere in the family story, someone crossed an ocean, and the table became the place where the old world survived. That is why Argentine food feels Italian, even when it is no longer Italian in the strict sense, because the emotional structure is still there. Food is family. Food is memory. Food is identity. Food is love with sauce on it. Argentina and the rest of the Italian world. Of course, Argentina is not the only country shaped by Italian food. The Italian diaspora changed kitchens everywhere. In the United States, Italian immigrants created one of the most famous food cultures in the world. Italian-American food became its own universe. Red sauce restaurants, New York slices, New Jersey delis, Sunday gravy, meatballs, cannoli. A cuisine born from immigration, poverty, success, and adaptation. In Australia, Italian migrants helped change the way people drank coffee, ate pasta, bought fresh produce, and understood Mediterranean food. Italian cafes, bakeries, and family restaurants became part of everyday life. In Brazil and Uruguay, Italian food mixed with local habits and became part of national and regional identity. In Canada, Venezuela, and many other countries, Italian families kept recipes alive across generations. But Argentina is special because Italian food did not remain only a community cuisine. It became part of the national kitchen. Pizza is Argentine. Pasta is Argentine. Milanesa is Argentine. Ñoquis del 29 is Argentine.
And still, all of them carry an Italian echo. That is the difference. In some countries, Italian food became a beloved immigrant cuisine. In Argentina, Italian food became a language of home. Not just something you eat at a restaurant, something your family already knows, something your grandmother made, something you argue about, something you remember, something you inherit. That is why this story matters beyond Argentina. It shows what happens when migration becomes culture, when a recipe crosses the ocean and stops being foreign, when food becomes a second passport.
Argentina remembers Italy differently.
So, does Argentina cook Italian food better than the rest of the world? That is the wrong question. Argentina does not cook Italian food better than Italy, and it does not simply copy Italy either. Argentina cooks Italian memory in its own way, with more cheese, more meat, more abundance,
More nostalgia, more family, more Buenos Aires, more Argentina.
That is what makes it beautiful. Pizza de Molde is not Neapolitan pizza. It is Buenos Aires remembering pizza.
Fainá is not just farinata. It is Liguria reborn next to an Argentine slice. Milanesa alla Napolitana is not a traditional Italian dish. It is an Argentine invention with Italian ghosts. Ñoquis del 29 is not just gnocchi. It is a monthly ritual of hope. Sunday pasta is not just lunch. It is family memory at the table. Argentina does not copy Italian food. Argentina remembers it differently.
And maybe that is why so many Argentinians feel connected to Italy, even generations later. Because food can carry what language forgets. Food can keep alive what documents lose. Food can turn migration into identity. So now I want to ask my Argentine viewers, what dish did your Nonna, your abuela, or your Tano grandfather cook at home? Ñoquis? Ravioles? Tuco? Milanesa? Pizza? Faina? What dish in your family still feels Italian?
Write it in the comments. I want to read your stories. And if you are watching from the United States, Australia, Brazil, Uruguay, Canada, or anywhere else in the Italian diaspora, tell me your version too. What did Italy become on your family table? Subscribe for more stories about Italian roots, migration, identity, food, football, and the hidden Italian DNA inside the world.